Alright guys, welcome back to Redstoning with Steve, episode 2, season 2. Where are we? A very strange land, and in fact, very old land. Some of you may recognize the very old terrain generation, and that's pretty much just because we're in a very old world. In fact, it's so old I had to convert it to the new terrain generation before I played in it. And excuse me. Yep, there we go. Forgot the space. Yeah, we're in an old world, and we're going to be looking at this today. You may not recognize this. Well, you may recognize it in a different form. This is the fastest piston elevator in the entire game. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think you can get any faster. You're getting pushed up one block every one torch of delay, I believe, and that is literally the quickest you can get because redstone simply can't react any faster than that. It's just, that's the fastest it can react. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This was invented by BrowsOfSteel's, and since then has been taken and made better by guys like Monkey Farm, Static, and most famously, I'd say most famously, Cube Hamster, who took this and made it go up and down and a lot more modular and stuff, but they all came from this particular design. I love having these cheats on, and in fact I actually had to open it to LAN to even get these on, so I try hard, guys. Alright, we're going to ride the elevator. I'm not sure if it will work quite properly because I think the delays are a bit off at the top, but we'll try. There we go, there's the problem. Not the elevator's fault, it actually is Minecraft's fault. Little bit annoying, guys, but you pretty much get the idea. Oh no, that's just annoying, that's just rude. I'm going to do this. And this elevator was working perfectly before. The problem with this is that pistons won't push you anymore properly, which is absolutely annoying. You can see they're just not even pushing us. So that's annoying because it was working before. I'm going to show you on the outside. And you can see it'll push you out if you want, and then it'll push you out. You can see these weird pistons at the top. They're for a special purpose. I'll explain later. And yeah, you can see, I'll show you once more. This is as quick as flying up. This is quicker than flying up. It's beating me to the top. So that's how fast this elevator is. And pity it doesn't work. I think if you adjust the delays so it pushes you up every 2 torches, I believe it'll work now, but really it's just a problem with Minecraft. And if any of you know me, you'll know it's my least favorite bug in the entirety of Minecraft right now, the piston pushing bug. So hopefully it gets fixed and this wonderful elevator can be restored to its former glory. So yeah, as I said, it's very old design. Would be start of this year, I reckon, 2012, or maybe even end of last year. I'm not really sure. Certainly in the old terrain generation, so I don't know what update that was, but quite old. We're going to get right into it. You can see the basic premise is that each of these pistons is a normal piston. Every single one. And those are the pistons that do the actual pushing. And you can see that they actually popped out of the wall when that happened. So how is it exactly pushing us up? And the reason why I wanted to do this is because the first time I looked at this, I had no idea what was happening. Basically, this is piston. This piston actually doesn't do anything, which is kind of funny. It's just aesthetic. You push the button. This piston will extend, push you up, and then this piston will be extended from the wall. And because you're already up a block, this piston will extend straight under you, push you up. Then this piston will extend straight under you, push you up, and so on and so forth. All the way up as high as you want to go. And I think I'm not sure if he made this one multi-leveled. I think you have to actually ride this one to the top, to be honest. That's alright. So you can see that's a basic premise, but how exactly does that work? Well, we've got our 2 buttons here that account for these, for this line. Come on. This line and this line are just the input lines. Alright? They're just the 2 input lines just to go from both buttons. They come through around here to here. Stop it. Through here to this piston. This piston is our first piston. So 0 torches delay, absolutely 0 delay to that first piston. Yeah, makes sense. First piston should minimum delay. There's no point putting any delay to that. So that's pretty much it. What happens is that this line, our input line, and this line is also the same, I believe. I wonder what's up with that. Ah, I get it now. I get it. So if you push the top button, I think you go to the top. And if you push the bottom button, I think it only puts you halfway. I think. Or maybe the opposite way around. I think... That's a bit odd. It has to carry this. Maybe the bottom button takes you to the top. Because I know this one is a carry. Yeah, I think the bottom one takes you to the top and the top one sets you halfway. Alright, I didn't actually notice that before. That's good. So the bottom one just goes straight through. The top one comes around, goes to that second input, which we'll have a look at later. We'll ignore it for now. It's not important at the moment. So essentially both of them come through, one with 1 torch delay, one like this. Come through, activate that bottom piston just on its own, and come through to here. Splits off to the 1 torch delay here, ignore it for now, but comes around more importantly to here. Stop it. This is just the carry to the top line, this is just the carry to the next one. This is totally modular, which is why it's such a good design. Stop doing that. Comes to these 2 here. Alright. So this is now at 2 torches of delay, or I believe it may be 1 torch of delay depending on what input you select. In any case, it's pretty irrelevant. It just has to happen after the first piston fires. So after the first piston fires, comes around here, carries all the way to here. You can see this is on 1 and then 2, so it's pretty irrelevant because this one will always activate first. Comes through here, goes to this block, this repeater, this block, this repeater. What this repeater does, break the block, we have, and if I middle click it, you can see it snaps to the sticky piston. It is indeed a sticky piston. And yep, there we go. So it's pretty blatantly obvious what's happening. This will extend the sticky piston, and this repeater will go through here and actually extend the normal piston. So you get the out and then up. The delay is important here. When you've got the 1 torch delay to here, it'll go to here. The 1 torch delay to here will keep this piston on for pretty much 1 torch, or 1 torch less because it takes two torches to fully extend. So it actually saves a bit of delay here and makes the elevator actually a little faster, which is nice. So that's that. However, if we're to do that, and I'll show you a quick example here. We're going to set it up just like that. So we have the block next to there. Alright. And you can see that's the exact same setup as we have here. However, if we retract this, the sticky piston is retracting before the normal piston. We know that from our piston study that a sticky piston will not push or pull an extended piston. So we're going to remedy this somehow. It's not working. So what we've got to do is in fact I shouldn't have broken that. I'll set it up again. I've done this wrong. So if we do this, what we need to happen is for this one to retract and then that one to retract. So actually this setup is extremely, and I mean extremely similar to a double piston extender setup. We have to keep this back one on for as long as it takes for this one to retract. So if we were to do, I'll grab some dust, 1, 2, 3, 4, and do that. This one is keeping it on for 4 torches. Alright? And look at that. It will extend as fast as the fastest one and retract as fast as the slowest one. And we have the fundamental concept of this entire elevator. So we have this little thing here. What's the other line for? It's pointing directly into this sticky piston. Keeps it on for 1, 2, 3, 4. And really you only need 1 repeater there technically. But you can see this repeater here. I assume BrowsOfSteel's just didn't want any kind of interference with the redstone wire and stuff. So he chose to go with the 2 repeaters. So it keeps it on for 4, which coincidentally is exactly the amount of delay you need for this normal piston to retract. So we've got this extension, and then when this goes off it will retract, and then this one will keep the sticky piston on long enough for it to retract. And there we have it. That's the fundamental concept of the elevator. And just to expand on that slightly, remember we had this 1 torch delay here, and we can see what we have here, and I'm going to jump around here. Exactly the same setup on the other side, 4, 1, 1. We can see 4 in there, 1, 1. And if we have a look up at this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one, this is a little bit odd actually. I'll have to, that'd be the carry up there, and this one it'll be the same setup in there. I don't want to show it, but there's a repeater behind this block, so it actually is the same setup as this. It's just that this carry just gets in the way, so you can't see it quite properly. So you can see, my point is, it's exactly the same setup all the way up, modular. So this 1 torch carries to here, 2 torches to here, 2 torches, 2 torches, 2 torches, 2 torches, all the way up. Exactly the same on the other side, 2 torches, 2 torches, 2 torches. However, this 1 torch repeater compared to this 2 torch repeater actually offsets them. So this one, when we click the button, assume it's at 0. Assume this redstone wire is 0. So this goes 1. So this one will activate at 1. Because this one is 2, this one will activate at 2. And because you keep adding 2s on both sides, this one will only activate on the odd number of delays. This one will only activate on the even number. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up. And you can see the repeating pattern we've got there. And yeah, the carry is just that the repeater, the repeater, the repeater, it just carries it all the way up. And that's pretty much the entire design. So the last little bit to this elevator is a bit of an oddity. I wasn't really expecting it in the elevator design, but we'll have a look at it regardless. I mentioned that other line that's coming from the input, and it's only from the... Is it from the top button or is it from the bottom button that it comes through? It's only from the top button. So the top button does make you go up all the way, and the bottom one only makes you go halfway. So that's confirmed. The top one comes through here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 9. Torches of delay. Comes through to here. Dust, torch, 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 torch tower. These torches don't affect these pistons or any wire in any way. It is literally just carrying a signal with delay up to here, up to here. Elevator's all the same. But the elevator's a little crazy when it gets to here. This is a bit different, and you can see this line is actually already activated. And it's activated by a carry here, and it's just taken out here, and that's really just arbitrary. You could take it out like here and just give it more delay on that repeater, but really just arbitrary where you take it. It's not too... It doesn't really matter as long as you have the right amount of delay to it. Really, you could take it right at the bottom, use instant wire for a bit up to here, and then take it. It's irrelevant. What this does, this looks like an RS NOR latch actually. Yep, this is an RS NOR latch. Basically what it does is it retracts these pistons here. They're already extended, and it basically retracts them. If this carry is activated, this through here, that's the button there to activate it. If this carry is activated, it actually reactivates these pistons here. So essentially what's happening, you're coming up, this carry with the RS North that's already on activates before the other carry. So you carry it up, these pistons retract, and exactly as you get to this level, this carry gets to you. It's timed exactly, so it's when you get to here. This carry gets to you, these extend, and you get pushed out. And lastly, the reason why this is extended and this one isn't, just to provide a flat platform, and you can whack this. Whee! And of course it doesn't work. And just to prove it, excuse me, we've got this one at the top, and this one does exactly the same thing as the other carry. It will retract and basically let you up so you can just come up and walk off. That's all it does. So I think I've covered this pretty well. Oh yeah, you can see the other carry there. So yeah, I think I've covered this pretty well. I don't think there's any bit of this I missed. And essentially these carry bits, they're just little special bits, just kind of push you off the elevator at the end. They're just nice additions to what is already a great design, and BrowsOfSteel was, I believe, pretty much the first one to come up with this. And it just works on that principle of the kind of double extender sort of thing. How it kind of pushes out, pushes you up, pushes out, pushes you up. And then that extra little delay here just to keep that sticky piston on. And that's pretty much the entire design, plus some extra little bits in here. So extremely intelligent design. One of my favorite piston things ever, really. It actually, my travelator, or conveyor or whatever, is actually this design but flipped on its side essentially. And that's pretty much what I based it on. It's actually flipped, so if the tower were to fall over that way, that's my design essentially. So yep, I will post the link to BrowsOfSteel. I'm not sure how he's going on YouTube at the moment. I'll have to check him out again. Of course, links down in the description. Check him out. Make sure you pop in the comments your suggestions for future episodes. I read every single comment ever. You can assure you, if you post there, I can assure you it will be read and most likely replied to, unless you post something stupid, of course. So hope you enjoyed this episode, guys, and I'll catch you in episode 3, and see ya.